Hi again. Today we will see the end of Scott Pilgrim's story. That's right, Volume 6 is the last one. Here we finally have the final boss. His name is Gideon. As you know, Gideon is the one who gathered the League of Exes that were gonna kill Scott but weren't too good at it. That's why we are here. So yeah, now Scott is living in the apartment that his parents paid for him. His band fell apart because he broke his bass fighting against the robots. And now he is having dreams about Gideon, about Ramona. He's just hanging around at the bar, and everything goes in a way that he wasn't really thinking. And now we have him trying to kiss Knives, like trying to get back together with her. But neither of them want it. And Scott even ends up meeting with Envy because Envy is back in town. She is again in her diva pop, in her pop diva persona. Look at her. Look at her go with her crazy hairstyle and the expensive clothes. Scott finally found the cat he was looking for. Scott finally has something to do, feed the cat. That's it. Because again, he meets with Envy and out of nowhere, he just meets Gideon in the street. Like he is hanging around with her and he meets Gideon out of nowhere. They see each other, they stare at each other, but they don't fight. Because why would Scott fight if Ramona isn't there? You know? Then Wallace convinces Scott to go visit Kim to whatever she wants. The guy from the drum, the girl from the drums, Kim. He goes there, they talk. Scott starts saying some nonsense about him having feelings for her. They even kiss. But Kim is like, come on, Scott, what the fuck? Why did you do that? She tells him that he needs to think about the mistakes of his past because he's not gonna be able to live with them. But Scott is determined to never look back. That's why this guy, the other Scott, his name is Nega Scott. This other guy are those bad memories that he has been repressing for so long. He is fighting with him. Nega Scott is kicking his ass until he looks at him in the eye and realizes that it's his mistakes, that he has to embrace it instead of running away. And he does embrace it, and he gets into a bus to come back to Toronto and fight Gideon for Ramona. He loves Ramona, he's not gonna let her go. Even though she isn't there, he doesn't care. He's gonna go for her. He's gonna go look for Gideon in order to get her back. And well, as you know, Gideon is with Envy now. Gideon turned out to be a businessman with a lot of money, a lot of power, a lot of influence that is opening a nightclub here in Toronto. It's underground actually. Scott has to go through an elevator underground to get to the club. All his friends are there. It's opening night. It's crazy. Scott is looking for Ramona. Scott is drinking, is making a fool of himself like always. But when he meets Gideon, they just start fighting. They don't even talk about it. They don't even know. They don't even exchange a word or anything until Scott tells Gideon that Ramona left. And Gideon realizes that they don't have to fight. he just tells him that, man, we can unite to control Ramona. She dumped both of us. Scott Pilgrim gets confused, he trips, and Gideon steals the power of love from his chest. He just takes the power of love from him and kills Scott. He actually stabs Scott through the heart with the sword. And once Scott is stabbed, he starts dying, obviously, but in the hallucinations that he is having while he is dying, he sees Ramona. And it's weird, because he died, but Ramona is there for him at the end. They start talking about what happened, why she left. She tells him that she was confused and wanted time to think about all the things that she has done for her, even though she doesn't feel like she deserves it. And they start kissing in his dream, and it turns out Scott had an extra life. I mean, Scott was dead, actually, he was dying, but he had an extra life, so it didn't matter at the end. He comes back to the real world, and from the wound in his heart, Ramona comes out from his heart, like literally. And after that, we learn that Gideon has all his ex-girlfriends in a cryogenic state, because he wants the day to come that all of them are gonna love him again. That's why he wanted to control Ramona, to be able to freeze her in time and make her fall in love with him again. I don't know what the fuck. That guy is weird as fuck. But yeah, the thing is that while they are fighting, Scott and Ramona, they both start glowing. You remember the glow Ramona gets when she's stressed out? They both get it. They both get the glow, and it causes them to get distracted, and Gideon actually kills Ramona. He stabs her through the heart while she's trying to escape. And Scott in that moment realizes that all the stars in Ramona's clothes, the stars on her backpack, the stars on the doors that come out of nowhere, are actually a symbol of Gideon being in charge. The star is the way that Gideon has of getting inside Ramona's head, and that's what Scott does. He gets into the bag. He literally gets inside the backpack of Ramona, and that's like a way to get into her mind, where he finds Gideon being like this god. I mean, he saw himself as a god, like literal god, giant, muscular, and everything. Scott then kicks his ass in Ramona's mind, rescues Ramona in his mind, and Ramona frees herself from Gideon. When she sees that Scott is willing to go that far for her, she breaks free from the spell. She breaks free from Gideon and is able to come back to the real world with Scott. Actually, the star in the backpack breaks, and that's the moment that Ramona breaks free. That's the moment Ramona is truly free from Gideon, and it explodes because the backpack was like an infinite void, so all of Ramona's things are now in the air. But that's not important. What is important here is that Ramona and Scott are back together. They are making team to defeat Gideon. Scott in that moment realizes that Gideon is so obsessed with Ramona because he knows the pain of being rejected. I mean, Gideon has the pain of being rejected by others, but also he has been rejecting others. And Scott knows that. He gains the power of compassion, and the power of compassion is a badass word. like bigger and everything. He takes it out of his chest, just like the other one, and with it, they both fight Gideon as a team, and they end up killing him after a pretty long fight. Actually, it's like 10 pages long. After a long fight, they both strike at the same time, and he's defeated. He's dead. He just explodes into millions of coins. Once there are millions of coins, the thing that was holding the ex-girlfriends comes down off the ceiling and they melt. They come back to life. At the same time, Envy Adams, you remember Envy, is singing because she was there as the principal attraction of the club. So she starts singing, these girls come down, and they are back to life. Simple. Simple as that. After a crazy night, Scott and his friends start talking. Ramona and Scott hold hands and get the fuck out of there. Once they are out, they are talking in the elevator about how Ramona was scared of being hurt, how she was scared of being stuck in the same place, and how it didn't matter to Scott. How Scott only wants her to love him, because he does. He loves her. It's pretty cute, actually. A pretty cute love story. After that night, they continue going about their lives. Scott continues working in the kitchen. Scott and Kim start a band. This time, Scott is playing the guitar. But the very end of all this are Scott and Ramona going together into the unknown. I mean, after everything that has been happening all throughout the series, they end up wanting to try it all again. They hold hands and are ready to go wherever the universe takes them. It's cute. It's a love story. So yeah, I would say this one is one of my favorites, even though there are parallel stories that make it a little more complicated at times. But hey, what's a good story without some tangling? That's all. Thanks for watching, and thanks for watching all the videos.